really very eager to see the picture. It may take time to process. It really depends on which instrument we're talking about. There is one Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter that was launched by NASA. There is the Mars Express, ExoMars, that were launched by the European Space Agency. And we should get the data from all of them. And in particular, the high-rise camera on NASA's orbiter could give us a pixel size of 30 kilometers. That's the very best resolution that we ever obtained of 3I Atlas. And it would be particularly interesting to look at the brightest pixel because it would constrain the size of the object. Just last week, I submitted a paper for publication where I estimated the minimum size. It's supposed to be at least 33 billion tons worth of mass because we don't see it recoiling as it's losing mass to there is also some nickel being shed from it without iron. It's really a very anomalous object, perhaps natural, but we should allow for the possibility that it's something else.
When you're talking about this insane mass, and when you're talking about like the extreme nickel production or the composition, like how anomalous are we talking here?
Well, it's something we've never seen before in solar system comets. But these are icy rocks that are in our backyard. And in fact, the question is whether similar rocks are made near other stars. And we might be up for surprises. In particular, there is a trajectory which is perfectly aligned with the plane of the planets. And that is something that cannot be explained just by observing or imaging it. You know, it's really the first object moving so fast at 60 kilometers per second. That's 600 times the fastest race car that we have on Earth. So it's anomalous in various ways. And my most important question is whether it could be technological or it's just natural. Hopefully we'll know more within the coming days.
And that brings me to my next question. You're talking about trajectories, and you know, I follow everything you post, and I saw you post a few days ago about the WOW signal, and that stopped me in my tracks. For those that don't know, the WOW signal is something that is just a historic moment in astronomy. Here's a quick explainer from our friends over at PBS about the mystery radio signal that was detected back in 1977. Watch this real fast.
Imagine seeing pages and pages of ones, maybe a 3, a 2 here and there, and then you see 6EQUJ5, right? That was why he said, wow, right? U is 30 times as strong as the noise in the background. Nothing was coming anywhere near that strong of a signal. It was kind of a surprise, right? The signal. And so the question was, did this come from some sort of extraterrestrial intelligence that was beaming out radio signals towards us?
Okay, so if I understand this correctly, and sorry for trying to read your very academic papers and understand them, but if I understand this correctly, the question that you were posing was whether this very anomalous radio signal that we detected coming from deep in outer space, whether that matched the trajectory that we are now seeing from 3I Atlas, as in, we know which direction it was coming from, and it seems to be coming from the same direction as the WOW signal. Is that right?
Yes, within 9 degrees. On Sunday evening, I decided to check it out after a day full of interviews. And it turns out that the two directions of the WOW signal and 3I Atlas are aligned with a chance probability of 0.6%. And I then asked, where was 3I Atlas in 1977? It was 600 times farther than the sun is from the Earth, roughly 3 light days away. And so the amount of power that was needed to produce that signal is about 1 gigawatt, the output of a nuclear reactor that we have here on Earth. So it's quite possible to have such a nuclear reactor on a gadget that is the width of Manhattan Island.
Okay, so not just nickel, not just massive. You're thinking there's possibly some sort of reactor that will generate enough potential energy to blast off a radio signal that we did detect in the night. I mean, where does this now rank on the Loeb scale, given the recent calculations that you did with WOW?
Well, it's still a higher probability for being